Hey guys, I just wanted to take a few minutes and go over some math exam tips that I normally go over with the students that I work with that I think will be helpful to those of you who are trying to navigate your own test preparation alone. So one of the first things I think you should do is make sure you understand how the math exam is organized. Is it organized from a random standpoint, or is it linearly organized? And when I say linearly organized, what I mean is, for instance, the ACT organizes its math exam, starts with consumer-based mathematics. It navigates into pre-algebra topics, elementary algebra topics, intermediate algebra, so on and so forth. And then at some point it becomes very conceptual. So there's a linear organization to it, whereas randomly organized exams may start off with a very difficult problem and then progress to a couple easy ones and then progress back to another difficult problem. So from that perspective, in a randomly organized exam, you really have to be on your toes and not allow it to psychologically discourage you. Whereas on a linearly organized exam, it's sort of like a warm-up. You start with something easier, and then you keep progressing to things a little bit more difficult, and then it helps you from a thinking standpoint. The other thing that I think is very important for you to do is to identify all the curriculum that's going to be assessed on the particular exam that you're taking. The company that's preparing those exams publish that information, and you should get that information and go through it very carefully so you'll understand all the categories of information that's going to be assessed on the exam. The next thing you should do is take a math exam and use that math exam to differentiate the problems that you miss into categories so you will know what to begin studying. The problems that you correctly answered, well, you understand those. There's no need to mess with them. So leverage the problems that you missed to begin studying categories of questions based on how the exam is designed and related, of course, to what you just missed. The other thing is most people see a figure on an exam and they don't see other figures that could be within the figure that is not hidden, but it's just not obvious. For instance, take a square, take another square, and orient that square within the other one in such fashion that it looks like a baseball diamond. Well, in the corners, you see right triangles. That right triangle could provide different thoughts to help you solve the problem that you're working on. Make sure that you are capable of recalling formulas quickly. If you have to sit and think about a formula, then it's wasting time. You don't want to waste time. You want to have your formulas memorized in such a fashion that you can just reproduce them immediately. Another thing that you could do is let's say they've given you a figure, but there's not enough information on the figure to help you solve the question. Think about taking a coordinate plane and superimposing it on that figure and aligning it in such fashion that you can use the X and Y axis of the coordinate plane to help give you extra information about the figure. If you can't see a clear path to answering a question on a standardized exam, leave it. Don't waste your time on trying to solve it. The point here is to get points and to get as many points as possible. Go on to the next question. And by going on to the next question, it may stimulate a thought that you can go back to the previous question and answer it. But go get the points and clearly differentiate between problems you can answer quickly from those that you cannot. Another thing that's important is math exams love to test this idea of fractions being undefined. Well, with algebraic expressions, it's not always clear. So be very careful when you're looking at a fractional algebraic equation. Make sure you never get a number calculated to 0 in the denominator. And if you do, be on your toes when searching for your answer choices. Sometimes they'll give you an equation and they'll ask you to make a comparison. And when they give you an equation to make a comparison, use a small set of numbers and make the calculation, and then use another set of numbers that relates to the scenario of the equation so you can make the comparison between them. Draw figures. Many times drawing a figure when there's no figure helps you visualize information that you didn't see while you were reading. And then finally, some questions give you an equation and they're simply looking for the value that will solve that equation. And those values are in your answer choices. So take your answer choices and substitute into the equation that in question and see which one works out properly. With that being said, I hope this helps you. And if I can do anything to help you, reach out to me. I'll see what I can do to help you. And thanks for watching. And all of you guys have a great day.